Sarah's hands were shaking as she walked into the coffee shop, her 5-year-old daughter Emma clutching her hand tightly. This was supposed to be a first date, a chance to start over after 3 years of being a single mom. But the babysitter had cancelled last minute, and Sarah had no choice but to bring Emma along. She fully expected the man waiting for her to stand up and walk out the moment he saw them. After all, that's what had happened the last 2 times she'd tried dating. Nobody wanted a package deal. Nobody wanted complicated. But as she approached the table where Jake sat waiting, something unexpected happened. He didn't frown. He didn't check his phone and make excuses. Instead, his face lit up with the warmest smile she'd seen in years. Before we continue with Sarah and Jake's incredible story, I want to invite you to be part of our Kindness World family. If stories like this touch your heart and remind you that goodness still exists, please hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss a moment of inspiration. Drop a like if you believe in the power of kindness, and leave a comment telling us about a time when someone's compassion changed your day. Your support helps us share more stories that matter. Now, let's get back to what happened next. Sarah apologized immediately, her words tumbling out in a nervous rush. She explained about the babysitter, promised Emma would be quiet, offered to reschedule. But Jake just knelt down to Emma's eye level and asked her what her favorite color was. Purple, she whispered shyly. He grinned and told her that purple was the color of royalty, which meant she must be a princess. Emma giggled, and just like that, the tension in Sarah's shoulders began to melt away. They ordered drinks, and Jake insisted on getting Emma a hot chocolate with extra whipped cream. As they waited, he didn't ignore Emma or treat her like an inconvenience. He asked her about her favorite books, her stuffed animals, what she wanted to be when she grew up. A veterinarian, Emma announced proudly, because she loved puppies. Jake nodded seriously and told her that was a wonderful dream, and that the world needed more people who cared about animals. Sarah watched this unfold with tears threatening to spill. She'd been so afraid, so convinced that bringing Emma would ruin everything. But here was this man, this stranger, treating her daughter with such genuine kindness and respect. He wasn't pretending Emma didn't exist. He wasn't checking the time or looking uncomfortable. He was fully present, fully engaged, and it was breaking down walls Sarah didn't even know she'd built around her heart. As they talked, Jake shared his own story. He was a single dad to a 7-year-old son named Michael. His wife had left when Michael was just 2, deciding motherhood wasn't for her. He'd raised his boy alone, juggling work and daycare pickups and parent-teacher conferences. He understood, he told Sarah, what it meant to be both mother and father, to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders while trying to give your child a normal, happy life. Sarah felt understood in a way she hadn't in years. Every other date had felt like she was hiding half of herself, like being a mom was something to apologize for. But with Jake, it was just part of who she was. A beautiful, important part. Then Emma spilled her hot chocolate. It happened so fast. One moment she was reaching for a napkin, the next the cup tipped over, sending a chocolatey wave across the table and onto Jake's shirt. Sarah's heart sank. This was it. This was when he'd lose his patience, when his kindness would crack and reveal frustration underneath. But Jake just laughed. Not a forced, polite laugh, but a real, genuine one. He grabbed napkins and helped clean up, telling Emma about the time Michael had spilled an entire bowl of spaghetti on his head during dinner. Emma's tears of embarrassment turned into giggles, and Sarah felt something shift inside her chest. Hope, maybe. The feeling that good men still existed in this world. They ended up staying at that coffee shop for 3 hours. Jake drew pictures with Emma on napkins. He taught her a silly song about a dancing elephant. He listened to Sarah talk about her dreams of going back to school, her fears about raising a daughter alone, her hopes for the future. And he shared his own vulnerabilities too, his worry that he wasn't enough for his son, his fear that he'd never find someone who would accept his family as it was. When it was finally time to leave, Jake walked them to Sarah's car. Emma hugged his leg spontaneously, this little girl who was usually so shy around strangers. "Thank you for being nice to my mommy," she said, her voice small but clear. Jake's eyes got misty, and he hugged her back gently before standing to face Sarah. "I'd really like to see you again," he said. "Both of you. Maybe we could do something with the kids next time. A park, or the zoo. Because here's the thing, Sarah. You're not just a woman I'm interested in. You're a mom, and Emma is a part of you. I wouldn't want it any other way." Sarah couldn't hold back her tears anymore. She'd spent so long thinking she had to choose between being a mother and being a woman worthy of love. But here was someone telling her she could be both, that she was enough exactly as she was. That first date was 5 years ago. Sarah and Jake got married 2 years later, blending their two families into one beautiful, chaotic, loving unit. Emma and Michael became best friends, partners in crime, and eventually, each other's biggest supporters. The family they created wasn't perfect, but it was full of kindness, understanding, and unconditional acceptance. Sarah often thinks back to that day in the coffee shop, to the moment she walked in terrified and certain of rejection. She thinks about how one person's kindness, one person's willingness to see beyond expectations and embrace complexity, changed the entire trajectory of her life. That's the power of kindness. It doesn't just make a moment better. It can change everything. It can take fear and turn it into hope. It can take loneliness and transform it into family. It can show someone who's been hurt that love still exists in this world, patient and gentle and real. So the next time you have the opportunity to be kind, especially when it's inconvenient or unexpected, take it. You never know whose life you might change. You never know what beautiful story might begin with your compassion. Because kindness isn't just nice. It's revolutionary. And it just might change everything.